Welcome back to Real Talk Sports with Rico. Today, we're talking about the Eastern and Western Conference playoff series that took place today as game ones took place. And we're going to be talking about what teams are going to need to do to jump into game two and take control of the series. And so I've actually got some stats, guys, that I'm going to be bringing up or box scores that we're going to take a look at as we go through this content today. And so first, let's start off with the Denver Nuggets versus the Los Angeles Lakers. And, I thought that going into this series, I like the Nuggets to win this thing. I think that it's going to be tough, as usual, to sweep LeBron James. But I feel like, ultimately speaking, that the Denver Nuggets will be able to take care of the Los Angeles Lakers. And they did that today. 114 to 103 was the final score in this one, if you didn't check it out. And I think that this game is probably best defined by what took place in the third quarter. If you're looking at the box score right now on the screen, you had a 32-point quarter from the Denver Nuggets, which really decided this game. 32 to 18 in the third quarter, where the Nuggets took over. And another phenomenal game from the Joker. I thought he was terrific tonight. Plus 14 in the box score. 32 points. He had the 7 assists, and he also had 12 rebounds. So he did a terrific job in really dictating the pace of the game and the flow of the game. I thought that he got invaluable contributions from Caldwell Pope. I thought that he was terrific in knocking down timely shots, 4 of 10 from downtown. And then how about what Jamal Murray has done? 22 points in this one. 10 assists. He also had 6 rebounds. But the telling stat about this is, if you were looking at this on ESPN, is that he is a +7 in the playoffs, guys. So that means that he scores 7 more points than he scores in the regular season in the postseason. I think that that's the most in NBA history come to mind. So that's pretty spectacular. We've always looked at Jamal Murray as a guy that is a clutch player, but the fact that he was able to come out and do what he did in the bright lights again shows you why Denver is so dangerous. On the other side of this thing, looking at the Los Angeles Lakers, first, let me give the flowers to Anthony Davis. I mean, we give this guy a lot on the shows and across major sports networks because we don't know which Anthony Davis is going to show up. And today, Anthony Davis did everything he could. It's not because of him that the Lakers lost. 32 points, 14 rebounds. This guy had 5 assists as well. His fingerprints were all over this game. And LeBron James as well. 27 points, 6 rebounds. He also had 8 assists. I think he did everything that he could do as well. D'Angelo Russell, a slow start for him, 6 of 20, only 1 of 9 from downtown, even though he's in a career year shooting from downtown, and he's also in a contract year as well. 13 points. Austin Reeves, relatively quiet, only 13 points on 5 of 9 shooting. Remember, his statements coming into this is saying that he thought that the Lakers were going to win the series, and they got 11 off the bench from Taurean Prince, but they didn't get anything from DeWindle, didn't get anything from Jackson Hayes, didn't even play Gabe Vincent in this one. Vanderbilt I think he was walking around in a walking boot prior to this one. So, I think that you're looking at a Denver team that is just much better than the Lakers, in my opinion. And I think that they're going to take care of the Lakers. I do expect the Lakers to at least get one game or be competitive in this series. But what Denver did tonight reminds me a lot of what the Golden State Warriors used to do back in the day, which is just pretty much take over in the third quarter or second halves of games. And that is a mark of a champion, guys. And so I like what they had to do here. I definitely think that at the end of the day, the Lakers are for sure in trouble. All right, guys. So the next game that I want to bring up here is going to be the Knicks and the 76ers. So going into this game, I think that the key was going to be for the key for the 76ers is Joel Embiid going to be healthy? Because if he was going to be healthy, I think he was going to have advantages all over the floor from a size advantage, in my opinion. I thought that, his mobility, him being able to step out on the bigs of the Knicks, I think that would be really the major difference here. So going into this thing, looking at this game, I thought that the Knicks did a terrific job of withstanding the runs that the Philadelphia 76ers brought. And I will give Tyrese Maxey a lot of credit. I thought he was phenomenal looking at what he did. 33 points, just 4 assists, but he was slicing up the Knicks left and right. They had no answer for him. Joel Embiid, I give him a lot of credit. Threw a tip dunk to himself off the backboard. He's only dunked 19 times in the season, so his knee really hasn't been right all year. And the fact that he gutted it out and played through this thing, gave them everything that they had. It speaks wonders for Joel Embiid. I certainly think he would have been an MVP candidate had he been able to stay out there for the year, but he's clearly not right. I think when you look at it, he was 2 of 8 from downtown, 8 of 22 from the field. A lot of shots that Joel Embiid takes and makes, it just wasn't happening. He just didn't look himself, even though he scored 29 points. And I just think aside from Tyrese Maxey and also to Joel Embiid, this is where the 76ers get in a bit of trouble because they're thin. Tobias Harris, only 7 points for as much as you paid for with him, and he's going into a free agent year. Didn't really do much for you today, so that's pretty disappointing, the fact that he only had 7. He did have 9 rebounds. Kyle Lowry, pretty big, 18 points. He did have 4 rebounds and 2 assists. So doing his thing out there, he's +6 in the box score. But aside from that, man, they didn't get anything from Nicholas Batum today. Didn't get anything from Paul Reed. And I think that that was really the story. The others for the Knicks. I mean, because look at this. Off the bench, how about Deuce McBride, man? This guy was terrific. 21 points, +37 off the plus minus sheet. 7 of 12 from the field, 5 of 7 from downtown. A lot of people thought that this guy was a bit small, not sure what his NBA fit would possibly be. And the fact that he's turned into a knockdown shooter has been huge for the Knicks. Also contributed with 4 assists as well. He did a great job in swinging the ball. I think that the fact that they picked up Bogey as well was huge for them. He had 13 points, +27, 7 rebounds. And I've said that this is the best offensive unit the Knicks and Coach Thibodeau has had in quite some time, dating back to his Bulls years. I think they were even better than the Bulls. And that pains me to say as a Bulls fan, but the Knicks are in some good hands. Look, OG Anunoby, 11 points. I know he's probably not all the way right with the elbow. Jalen Brunson, 22 in this one, 7 rebounds, 7 assists, filling up the stat sheet. And I think Josh Hart was probably the MVP. He was 4 of 8 from downtown, hit some huge shots, 22 points, had 13 rebounds as well. Really reminds you why he was so good coming out of Villanova. And also, too, it makes you wonder why the Lakers gave up on this guy. I mean, just another success story for, obviously for Josh Hart and Villanova and that whole program. So kudos to him. Kudos to Tom Thibodeau. And it just looks like to me the 76ers might be in a bit of trouble, man, because like I said, I don't think Joel Embiid is quite himself. Going down like that and not being able to dunk and just not looking comfortable on jump shots. And there were several times where like Mitchell Robinson got tip-ins and things like that, that normally I think that Joel Embiid is going to get. He just wasn't able to do so today. So that's unfortunate for the 76ers. So again, kudos for the Knicks. So next up, guys, let's bring up the next game here. And that is going to be the Cleveland Cavaliers against the inexperienced Orlando Magic. And so, I thought that the Magic could give the Cavs a run. They're probably going to give them a scare. But ultimately speaking, in this first game, I think that the Cavs experience definitely showed out in this one. And let me start and give flowers to Donovan Mitchell. I think that he was stellar today, leading the way with 30 points. You see that, +10 in the box score, didn't miss a free throw. Didn't shoot it particularly well from downtown, didn't shoot it particularly well from the field, but he was all over this thing. I would love to see his assist rates go up. That's something that I think has always been an issue for him. Even dating back to his Utah days, I think that he always should have been a double-double. But the key for the Cavs were the bigs. I think that having Evan Mobley, and then Jarrett Allen having the games that they had. Look at this, Jarrett Allen. You know this guy. He's one of my favorite bigs out there. 18 boards and 16 points. He was phenomenal. You had Evan Mobley. He had 16 and 11 as well. Terrific. And then Darius Garland had 14 points and 8 assists. It is noted that he did go out with a back injury. Looked like back spasms for him. But on the flip side of this thing, the Magic, Ben Sherrill did his thing. Didn't shoot the ball particularly well, but did go out there and get 24 points. The one takeaway that I had from the Magic is that the guards played pretty terrible in my opinion. Like Jalen Suggs played great defense, but just could not get it going from the field. You see, he's 1 of 7 3-point shooting, 4 of 16. I mean, he took a lot of shots that did not go down. Gary Harris never got into a rhythm. Cole Anthony didn't look very good out there. He was 4 of 4 from the free throw line, so he had 4 points in this one. But you needed him to be a bit more of a better scorer off the bench. Mo Wagner, excuse me, came in with the 10 points off the bench and really gave them energy. But the one thing that I will say about Orlando is that they competed. They came back and they competed in this one after really getting punched in the mouth, I think, a couple times in this game. So I think that the Magic are going to be competitive in this series, but I think it's going to be tough for them to overcome the experience in this series. All right, guys. And so, with that said, we move into the last game of the day. And to be honest with you, I think that this might have been perhaps one of the more interesting games out there. And that is going to be the Timberwolves and the Suns. A lot of people feel like that the Suns were going to win this series. A lot of people feel like, with Kevin Durant and Booker and this top heavy team, it didn't matter what the seed was. And I said that I picked the Timberwolves in this one. I don't care that the Timberwolves haven't been there before. I'm like, there's something that I saw in Anthony Edwards that I haven't saw in him since he's been here. And also, too, I just see the evolution of him. And to be honest with you, he has to be in the rankings for the MVP candidate. I wouldn't bat an eye if he wins this thing. But the Timberwolves smashed the Suns 120-95 in this one. And looking at the box score, let's start off with particularly with what Rudy Gobert did. Okay, Rudy Gobert had the 14 points. He's plus 19. He had 16 rebounds as well. And I want to give him a shout out because he was out here guarding Kevin Durant. And we're going to get to Kevin Durant, even though he scored 31. But Rudy Gobert, this was an issue for him when he was with Utah. He couldn't necessarily guard players like this, and they got exposed in that year that Utah was supposed to go all the way. And the fact that Gobert has really cleaned that up, that has been stellar. So he looked good in game one. Karl Anthony Towns coming off the knee as well. He got a little bit of Kevin Durant. He had 19 points. He also had 7 rebounds, 4 assists as well. So he was all over the stat sheet. He did a terrific job. And speaking of the guy that I led with in this segment, Anthony Edwards, look at this, guys. 33 points plus 19 in the box score, 9 rebounds, 6 assists, 2 steals. I want Anthony Edwards. I mean, I apologize. Coming out of college, I did not think Anthony Edwards was going to be this good. And Anthony Edwards is a man out there. I mean, seriously, like I wish that my team had Anthony Edwards out there. And I mean, this guy has really evolved as a terrific player. And the one thing that really stuck out to me is his 3-point shooting. He was 4 of 8 today, but he can get hot. And there was a couple times where he just knocked down some 3-pointers where the Suns could not do anything about it. I love the fact that Reed has played well pretty much throughout the year. He had 12 points. But what about Nickeil Alexander-Walker? Shout out to Shea Gilgeous-Alexander. I think this is his cousin. 18 points, 4 of 9 from downtown, 7 of 12 from the field. He was on fire, did a great job out there. So kudos to the Minnesota Timberwolves taking care of business. And on the other side of this thing, Kevin Durant. 31 points. He was negative 20 in the box score, but still had 7 rebounds and an assist and a steal. I think that they did a terrific job in allowing Kevin Durant to get his points, but nobody else got off. All right. Because look, Brandon Bill had 15 points. He had 6 assists that turned him a little bit more into a distributor. And then Devin Booker. Yes, he scored 18 points and he had 5 assists, but notice that these guys had to be more distributors. Royce O'Neal, I love this guy a lot. I think he's a terrific defender and a 3-and-D guy. He did terrific off the bench. But aside from that, the Suns didn't get anything else. And I told you guys going into this thing that the Suns are a top-heavy team. And, Nurkic, he put up that tweet when Golden State got eliminated in a play-in situation. Well, congratulations to the Suns, because you probably are going to get eliminated in the first round of the playoffs, because at the end of the day, the Suns have not addressed the roster situation that they needed to in trying to find guys that could complement this top heavy roster. And I think what you're going to see in this one is that Minnesota has the better team. It's not about just the stars. You have to have others. And if you look at inside the NBA, you look at Charles Barkley, you look at Shaquille O'Neal, those guys talk about that all the time. And Kenny Smith, they talk about having a supporting cast. When you look at it, the Minnesota Timberwolves have a better supporting cast than the Phoenix Suns, and they're much deeper. And I think that this is going to show in this series. So kudos to the Minnesota Timberwolves for winning game 1 of the series and winning it quite handily. So with that being said, guys, that really is today's show. Stay tuned as we will be talking about game 1 reactions for tomorrow. I cannot wait to talk about the Los Angeles Clippers and the Dallas Mavericks, which I think the Dallas Mavericks have a legit chance of perhaps going ahead and pulling off an upset in this one. I think that they are going to get an upset in this. So definitely be looking for that. And so this is Rico Greenhow with Real Talk Sports with Rico. Make sure that you go ahead and press that like and subscribe button and follow us as we take care of business for the next show, guys. So I'll see you guys on the next one. Peace, peace, peace.